choice that's active right now. Maybe it's something good. Coglin Summoner. I'm not doing that because it's a mage. And not only is it a mage, it's a summoner. Human Reaver. I have the theory that's gonna be bad. Oni Necromancer. I kind of wanna go Oni Necromancer and just go melee strength, but something about it gives me the feel that I shouldn't. I'm gonna do it anyway. Oni Necromancer. What are we going to do with this guy? Certainly not cast a lot of spells, I can tell you that. I'm still gonna start with the usual thing, but I'm going to be using maces probably, because maces are cool. What is this? Okay, like a skelly, I suppose. Is Soul Splinter like a nerf from the spell that was just a straight up a Reef Wizard spell? Probably not a nerf because okay. Oh, it doesn't deal damage. It's just a summon. I don't like it. I wish it was just a spell that dealt damage, and then if it killed it, summon the thing. It's a summon that can be resisted. Ooh, Goblin with a Dagger of Electrocution. That's really scary. Yep. Okay. Ah, I'm glad that I didn't die there, because that would have been a terrible way to end a streak of 2. When was the last time that I had a streak active? Can a streak even be counted as an active streak if it's only 2 games? I don't know. Probably not. So what other spells do I get as a Necromancer? Grave Claw? Yeah, sure, I'll get that. D1 Null with a whip. You still can't get a streak at all, so you would count 2 games. I see. Let's see if we can make that 3 games. Alexander Numbers, thank you for the follow. We also have Vamp Drain, Animate Death, and Agony. I think that I'll probably stop at Vamp Drain. I won't drain any more magic than whatever I need to cast Vamp Drain. Good experience on level 1. So way back in the day, many years ago, I used to have background music whenever I was playing Crawl to not have any awkward silence. But I think that people like it better when there is silence because it's not really awkward silence. I am still doing something and thinking about it and stuff, and then there's like the ASMR keyboard sounds, which I have the suspicion that that is part of the reason why I gathered a viewer base in the first place. Surely a lot of people tune into the stream to have some background sound to help them sleep or something. Um, and some may be interested in crawl. Mm, beautiful. You should probably be wielding that flail of protection. Yeah, if I'm gonna be going maces, that's a pretty good mace to start the game with, or to start going for maces with. Humi's book boutique with a manual of armor, which is unlikely that I will use. Link is definitely interesting. Maybe later. What I want is a form, which I do have. I just got a talisman, right? Inkwell. Inkwell says it's the one that turns you into a scroll. Magic parchment, but we cannot really be a scroll. I don't think I want that. Um, okay, your cloak is not special, so you get to live another day. I wonder how many charges of Graveclaw I have. Um, it must tell you, right? Somewhere when you cast a spell. Or like not when you cast a spell, but when you see the description. You have harvested enough death to cast this spell 2 times, max of 3. And yeah, it is quite the spell. It does pretty crazy damage for the early sections of the game, but you cannot really spam it, which is okay. There we go. You have harvested as much death for Grave Claw as you can hold at once. That means bring on the hard monsters, so I can use all of that gathered death. I guess I can spare a little bit for an orc. Yes, for an orc. Wow, that's a ring. I'm probably sticking with that for the whole game. Look at that. That is a ring. That is the ring of you could technically just do SOT with these resistances and willpower. um, so yeah, really good. Great ring to have to complement statue form later. Guardian Spirit, which is the worst amulet in the game. I wonder if Guardian Spirit got buffed in any way. Let me inspect it. Nope, doesn't say that it does anything. That is a very exciting ring. Oh, Ring of Mana. Do we care about a Ring of Mana? I guess we can put it on instead of the Ring of Strength for now. The Ring of Strength will be more useful once I'm actually using um, the mace or flail to tap. I don't know if I'm going for Giant Spike Cloth or something like that. I do not know yet. Okay, Graveclaw on the priest, because that's what Graveclaw is for. This could be rough. Okay. Yeah, that was a little bit spooky. Having to fight 2 priests in a row is definitely not comfy. You do wish the amulet base types were a little bit more balanced, because some are completely unusable and some are really strong, like regen. I've always been a fan of regen ever since it gave half the amount of regen that it does now. Wow, that's up for +4 mace, but probably not better than the flail of protection, really. Um, Mana regen is also really good. And then there's like a Crobat um, and Reflection, which are okay, but they're not as good as the other ones. And then there is Guardian Spirit, which is, in my opinion, the worst. And it is maybe decidable for very specific characters that I don't like to play anyway, so you are not really going to see me playing with Guardian Spirit Amulet unless it is a very specific circumstance. Also, Faith, which is mostly useless. Yeah, one of the greatest uses of Faith was that you could you could put it on as an Okawaru worshipper to get a bunch of stuff, and now you cannot do that. So yeah, big nerf to Faith. You think Reflect is good? Reflect is okay. It's definitely more an accessory that one would use if using a shield. I don't like this. Dangerous if I to be trying to make me hit it. Okay, it's killing me. It's straight up just rolling pretty good. Yep, straight up just rolling really good for some reason. Hmm. This is insane. This guy's wrecking me. Yeah, should have unwielded the dagger, and I would have killed it earlier. Yeah, that was crazy. Found the temple. Sanguine Talisman. I wonder what that turns you into. What are we going to do for this character? You know, there should be a god that, like, God of Forms. Why is there no God of Forms if the game's going so hard on talismans? Maybe it could be the fabled P god. Uh, yeah, there is a god for every letter except for P. So it could be the P god, the God of Forms. Mm. I'm thinking Okawaru. How much am I going to regret going Okawaru? Let's give it a try. User Vampire. Okay. Oh, it's a high level talisman. Okay, so at 25 skill, it gives you a 72% chance to bamp when you're below 50% HP. What is going on with that? That seems pretty good for an Oni, right? Hmm. Yeah, I don't care about that. Because I don't care about Inkwell. I'm almost certain I can beat the Ogre in a 1v1 with what I have. What do you mean you cannot go? Oh! Yeah, Okawaru. Yeah, I should tell you how much I plan to play um the ally playstyle, the Necromancer playstyle. Mm, beautiful. Bump Drain is so nice to have. Ooh, Dark Flail of Protection. Goodbye, normal Flail of Protection. We can also toss the Giant Glove. I think that is my signal to start training maces. I want to fight it 1v1. I'm almost certain I win 1v1 because Bump Drain is that powerful. Beautiful. And yeah, this is kind of a crazy thing to have. Very, very powerful thing to have access to this early in the game. It's enchanted and it is a good brand for the early game. Old band, I would like to believe that I'm strong enough to deal with them, even if one has a pole arm, or like if one has a halberd, I mean. Careful with the Boda. I can beat it, but I need to fight it without it being supported by the Boda. Yeah, there we go. I have 3 charges of Graveclaw. Oh, no, only 2. Well, we are going to be saving those for, once again, the things that do need to be Graveclaw. Kind of like this. Okay, that guy was a little bit scarier than Edmund. Orc Warrior. Uh, I should be able to beat it, right? Like I mean, if I beat Edmund, I should be able to beat an Orc Warrior, and I do. Yeah, this Dark Flail is pretty busted. I really want to start training for it. 14 is min delay, so 2 phantoms. They're not blinking me. There we go. Well, don't blink me into that. That would be pretty bad, in fact. Don't blink me into that. Okay, that's pretty bad. That might be deadly. How do we not die here? Oof! That is insane. How exactly did I get blinks this bad? Okay, since I have no evasion, I was a little bit afraid of the ogre hitting me for like 30, 40 damage every turn for like 4 turns in a row and killing me before I could kill it. But fortunately, that was not to happen today. I wish that when you see this screen, you could see the amount of charges that Graveclaw has. Um, Glaive, but nothing really is beating the Dark Flail until much later in the game. It is a pretty good thing to have right now. Okay, that was dangerous, but Akawaru really liked it, so it's fine. Man, look at my HP. I have almost 3 digits at experience level 8. The Oni experience, you love to see it. The unfortunate part of the Oni experience being, of course, that in the near future I will have 3 armor class in the mid game, and I'm gonna explode through everything. Every single monster will do horrendous amounts of damage, and it will be quite frustrating. You know, I should probably carry that Darflail just in case I. Um, I have not hit it once. That is crazy, man. When Kroll doesn't want you to play, it's so blatantly obvious. Yeah, the worst part is attacks of opportunity existing. Early vampires suck. Such a volatile monster. Yeah, that is actually a crazy early vampire, D6. I'm not beating it because the thing is that I can beat most things that I can Vamp Drain because Vamp Drain is such consistent damage, right? But Vampire, yeah, I cannot Vamp Drain those. And they go invisible and they heal and they do a lot of damage. Yep, that is just not something that makes sense to even think about fighting this early on. Um, Missing that much with +4 enchanting hero up is really unlucky. It was invisible, to be perfectly fair, but still. None have pole arms, right? Yeah, we can deal with these guys, no problem. Easy peasy. Mm. Noxious Bog. Last game I really wanted Bog and I never got it. But this time I get it so early when I'm really not intending to go for spells in any way. Well, beyond Blink and stuff, you know, the really early game cheapo stuff. I have cold resistance, so this Ice Beast is not dangerous to me. Okay, more strength. This is gonna be a strength character. Big strength, big damage. Um, you know, maybe I should have gone for unarmed because unarmed, like I want to try the new talismans. Some talismans are unarmed talismans, right? Haven't found any. Oh my, that's crazy. That is crazy. That's 2 manuals of armor. I think we're not going for talismans. That is insane. 2 manuals of armor before D7. Can you believe it? Okay, yeah, this protection Darflail is being highly useful. We accidentally read-identify blinking. That's tragic. We now identify. Let's see if we can find. I mean, I don't care about identifying scrolls anymore now that I've read the most important one. Enchant weapon. Okay, +5. Immolation and enchant armor. You found a manual of the armor on D1 today. Oh, but the thing about this being remarkable is that it's 2. Now I just need an actual armor worth putting on, aka gold scales. Though, given that I have this incredibly strong ring, I could even get away with shadow scales. But I want gold scales, really. That's what I want because gold scales poison resistance. Uh, yeah, yeah. Maybe I can get swamp scales early somehow. Sometimes it happens. Yeah, at least we have one blinking. You are correct. Um, you will now try to manifest Maggie with swamp skills for my game. Oh, Maggie with swamp skills would be kind of magical. Would be exactly what I would like to have. Okay, I'm just gonna go in. Being an Oni, I don't fumble on shallow water. Goblin Rider. Hmm. I'm a bit surprised that after all these years, Kroll has not implemented a Mind Goblin yet with incredible psychic powers. But what's my identify strat once you've scroll identified? You keep re-identifying scrolls you have multiple of? No, because you can waste your one off. Well, not really your one off, but you can waste a blinking. If you have a stack of two that's unidentified and it's blinking, then now you have only one blinking. And that means that in your game you have found two blinkings. So yeah, that sucks. You hope Goblin Riders are extremely rare outside of Baileys. These guys are scary. They are extremely rare outside of Baileys. I do not remember seeing a lot of them in the games that I have played these last couple of days. The first time that I saw one was in here actually, in this game, and I've seen them in Orc, but by Orc they're not that scary anymore, right? Like surely there's scarier things by the time you get to Orc. Um, are you serious? This guy's a bit too strong for me. Okay, out of blinking. What can you do? How much range does this have? Range 4. Um, to be perfectly fair, I should have used this Curare, which it missed, of course. I don't have nets. I do have roots and paralysis. Paralysis doesn't work. Roots kinda doesn't work either. Beautiful. Now, hopefully that's the last one, because we cannot really do a lot of that. Hopefully I didn't lose the Curare. Oh my, I did lose the Curare. That's insane. That is so sad. I have gotten gold scales from this Bailey before, so everybody cross your fingers. Okay, that's certainly not gold scales. That hurt quite a bit. Oh. Oh boy, okay. Give me that. Yeah, I will gladly take +0 shadow scales. I would have preferred them to be, enchanted and gold scales, but shadow scales is the kind of stuff that we are in here for. We get a little bit of extra strength, big cold resistance for some reason, and we get a regen source. It's gonna be great. Yeah, we're in for quite a ride. After we get the 14 maces, we are training armor. We are going to go hard on armor. Um, with the two manuals, I can probably get to 18, no problem, even taking into account the -1. Um, and these could have been this could have been something else. I guess that now the important piece of armor is worn by one of the guys, so you don't just shinobi your way in and get the loot and get out. That's whack. Further nerfs um, to stealth characters. So yeah, very clearly, while I'm winning this, I don't get to cast the spells, but I have actual armor class, so I don't think I need to cast Vamp Drain anymore. Yeah, look at that, 19 armor class by D8. After getting shafted, I need to go back up. Um, Huge Bailey, very happy. Oh, D7 Cyclops, we're not doing that. This looks like an evil bolt, the likes of which I should not mess with. And that is what we are going to do. Okay. I'd rather explore D8 than go through that. I still wanted gold scales, you know, but it's fine. So funny thing about why I should probably get rid of that. Remove it from the quiver. Yeah, I'm gonna put Soul Splinter on the quiver, so when I press it, nothing happens. Steam Dragon. This is a little bit scary. But yeah, these guys cannot get through 21 armor class. Joseph. Can Joseph get through 19 armor class? The answer is no. No, Joseph cannot get through 19 armor class. Scroll of Tele, pretty good. Okay, as long as I don't see a priest, things are not scary. Priests are the mainly scary orcs now, because they are not getting through my armor class, as you can see. Ocean of 3, I don't think we care about it. The Oracle's Delphic readings, it's on the 8, very funny. That is a reference to NetHack, because the Oracle of Delphi generates at this point in the game in NetHack, D8 or so. And the crazy NetHack developers of yesteryear intended for that to be the main way that the player learns how to play the game, what exactly you have to do in NetHack. Because NetHack's method of winning the game is quite complicated. It goes above and beyond in terms of complexity compared to Crawl. Crawl is just get 3 runes, go do Sod, grab the orb, win the game, and that's it. Simple as that. But in NetHack you have to do a lot more. Very obscure stuff. You have to complete um, it's not background, your class quest to get. What do you get from it? You get your quest artifact and the bell of opening, and there's still a Cyclops there that we do not want to mess with. I should just go downstairs. And then you have to go find Vlad the Impaler and get the candelabra and put candles on the candelabra. I think you need 9 candles, but I'm not sure. It's been a very long time since I've done that. And then you need to kill Rothney, the Wizard of Yendor, for the book. And then you go to a vibrating square in the final level of the dungeon, which is only identified by the fact that when you step over it, the game tells you that it is a vibrating square. And in that vibrating square, you light up the candles and you ring the bell and then you read the book. I think that it doesn't really matter what order you do things as long as the last thing you do is reading the book, if I remember correctly, but which I may not remember correctly, to be perfectly honest, since once again it's been over a decade since I've done that. But once you do that, you get access to the final level, the deepest level of the dungeon. It's not quite the final level, because that level is where you get the Amulet of Gender, I think, and then you have to get the Amulet of Gender from the very bottom of the game to the very top of the game. And if you're carrying the real Amulet of Gender, when you escape the dungeon, instead of escaping, you get access to the astral planes. And then the astral planes are difficult and hostile levels that people over-prepare for, really, because who wants to lose a nethack run so late into the game? It's 5 levels, with the only really dangerous one being the last one, unless you are not immune to drowning, in which case the plane of water is also really scary. Spross. I have no idea what Spross is. Mm, a former beekeeper's apprentice with an ambitious dream to modernize the whole world's beekeeping industry with the smooth certainty of disease-proof metal. His methods may be questionable and his goals dubious, but his prototype's stinger still looks awfully sharp. Oh, haven't I fought this guy already? I fought someone with Nazja. Oh, it was Senata. It was Senata, I think. Okay, I wonder how scary that is. Probably fairly scary. It's a goblin. Oh, another random ring. Ring blog. Slay -6. Yeah, okay. I think that belongs on the floor. Yeah, we are not going to be using any amount of talismans with this character. Certainly not after having acquired the Manual of Armor and Armor, which is the important part. If you have a Manual of Armor, but you are an Oni, it doesn't really matter because the chances for you to find armor that is actually suitable are kind of low. Stop not noticing me, come on. Okay, easy peasy. Um, Acid Dragon. Enchant Armor. Let me pick that up. Since we are going to be hoarding those for as long as we can, I want to put them on gold scales ideally, but who knows how late it's gonna be in the game when I come across my first set of gold scales, if it ever happens, because there's no guarantee that I'll find those. Okay, what gives me a rock? So I can throw rock. I'm probably gonna do that because just Oni things. I like that boulder wheels are not insane anymore. They used to be ridiculously dangerous things. Okay, that's 14 maces. I have min delay on my Dart Flail. My damage rating is 29 with 0.6 attack delay. It's bonkers for this point in the game. Like, really, the early game, I kind of have it figured out. Like, even, ooh, that might be. No, it's not that much of an upgrade, actually. The Dark Flail of Venom, like, it's good. It's Venom brand, but I think I would rather have the extra armor class from protection. Like, Venom is good. Do not misunderstand me. It's good at this point in the game, but it's not protection. Protection is top tier at the start, and as the game goes on, it gets worse and worse until the point where we're having the better damage output that comes from um, having a good brand will protect you more than having 7 armor class. Um, okay, that hurt a little bit. Silver jab. Mm. It feels nice to not have to fear these things that normally I would have to fear because Oni, right? Because Ogre. Um, I don't fear them because I have good armor class. And when you have good armor class, good damage output, and good HP, you are so unkillable in the early game. As the game goes on, those qualities are not enough, but we have some to really not have to worry about the mid to late game. We have we have resistances already, so yeah. All that I need is more armor class, and then we are set for the whole game. And also, it's time to get rid of the Ring of Mana since I'm not even casting spells anymore. And wear that Ring of Strength, which now makes my damage rating 33. How much was it before? 29? So yeah, pretty good. Bees. Yep. This character has a little bit of accuracy problems. Bees have decent evasion, so understandable that I had a hard time hitting them. That's the best way to increase piety as a follower of Trog. Trog does tell you that Trog likes it when you kill living things, you destroy the undead, you kill demons, you kill holy beings, and you destroy non-living beings. Trog especially likes it when you kill wizards and other users of magic. So that would be the best way to increase piety as a follower of Trog. In terms of actual gameplay, yeah, like it's literally just kill stuff, but kill stuff and equip regen. Because if you equip regen, it's less time spent waiting to regen, and so less piety decay, and so you gain more piety faster. Mm, Talisman of Death. Oh, you need 26 skill for a Talisman of Death? That's crazy. User can also heal themselves by tormenting living foes nearby. Boo! I wish it could still torment demons and stuff like it used to when it was first added to the game. It was so funny. It was so funny. It had no cooldown and it just torment it. You could torment mummies with it, and because you were undead in that form, like no torment danger, so only smite, but you could heal to full HP. And you could spam that. It was the funniest thing. I wish it remained in the game. And really, with the high experience requirement, the high skill requirement to use it, it should just go back to its unnerfed form. Um, okay, Atropa. I don't care about Atropa. Atropa doesn't do anything unless you are going stealth. That's definitely changed. You remember it was min 21. Yeah, it was min 21. Or 23, I think. It was the top tier talisman. But now I suppose there's more top tier talismans. Talismans are cool. I like them. I'm gonna turn off armor for a little bit. And we're gonna train invocations because we're gonna need some of that. 12 should be plenty. More than enough. Kill the warriors. Kill the priests. Alright. I wonder what Okawara is gonna give me for 6 pips of piety. I've been killing plenty of difficult things. I'm in D12 and I'm not really feeling like I am in danger. So I'm just yeah, I'm done with D12. There is piety decay. Didn't know that. Thanks. Piety decay is extremely slow. Yes, that is correct. You basically won't notice it unless you have a huge health pool, take a lot of damage every fight, and also don't have any regen. And also there's gods that have really slow piety gain, so those are gods where you're gonna feel the piety decay. Manual of armor. How much? I can afford it, right? Yeah, I can afford it. Or can I? Is it 960? Yeah, it is 960, so I cannot afford it yet. Um, can I not wish list it? Well, keep in mind that I have a manual of armor on D2, or when I can buy it. I can kill you now, no problem. And should I buy it before? Should I do Orc before Lure just a little bit? Because Orc does have copious amounts of money. So I could just dip in. get a little bit of money, and then get out and buy my manual and train for that in Lair. Yeah, this is important so that I do not forget and I get like maximum value for my money as early as possible. Okay. I still kind of want to train invocations first because training invocations is important. So I can do finesse and duel. I don't think duel is gonna be that important in Lair, but I want finesse at the very least. Sweet. My first rock thrown, and it actually hit the boulder beetle. And of course, large rock beats boulder beetle. Basically, it prevents you from AFKing in one place and just killing, grinding for experience and piety rewards. Cause Sphere would have been probably an okay one to have in my previous run with the Poltergeist. I enjoyed that Poltergeist, Cinder Acolyte. I would even go as far as to recommend that combo, Poltergeist, Cinder Acolyte. The low dexterity, it's a little bit rough, but you can probably figure something out, and Ignis is definitely the MVP at getting you through the early game, which is the hardest part of playing a Poltergeist. That is not good. Don't do that again. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. Are you serious? Um. Okay, what will grant you a choice of weapons once and a choice of armor once, and it gives me throwing weapons as well. All right, let's see what we get. Eos, Firestarter, a Vampiric Bardiche, and a Great Mace of Protection. Where are the Giant Clubs or the Giant Spike Clubs? The Vampiric Bardiche is pretty sick, but nah. Firestarter is very funny. It gives you immunity to fire clouds and a ton of fire resistance, and it just makes things blow up. It's really funny. Um, I wonder if I should get that. Like, I mean, these things are not gonna change. I should just get Firestarter. The thing about Firestarter is that it requires 20 skill. We're at 14, and I have plenty of things to train for. In the form of the armor training, like get my value out of the two manuals that I happen to get. And also a little bit of invocations, and also a lot of fighting. Yeah, fighting is gonna be important. Not to mention, on top of that, when I switch to Firestarter, I'm gonna be throwing away 7 armor class, which, yeah, it's kind of significant when you only have 19. That 7 armor class, like 26 armor class by this point in the game, it's pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet. I like it a lot. It's not something that you would normally have as an Oni. In a normal Oni game, you would be running around this place with like 7 or 8 armor class, and it would be very painful. It would be very painful, but thanks to the Dark Flail of Protection and the Shadow scales that I got, it's not gonna be painful at all. It's been a very lucky run so far. Let's see what armor Okawaru gives me. Please give me something good. Plus 11 Tower Shield, plus 1 Hat of Shadows, plus 0 Acid Scales, and plus 9 Life Ice Dragon Scales, with 5 Slaying. Those are looking pretty good. The thing is that I wish it was fire scales instead of ice scales, because as you can see, I don't care about the cold resistance. I wish it was fire resistance. Plus 11 tower shield is insane. You have to keep in mind that using a tower shield with this character will deprive me of giant clubs, giant spike clubs. It will deprive me of fire starter. Lots of damage left in the table. It does add a huge layer of protection, but it is a tower shield, so it requires a lot of skill to be okay. It also it's like it has good stuff, good properties that we don't need. But if we didn't have them already, it would be a significantly more appealing item, like a more compelling thing to actually go for. Overall, I miss old Okawaru. Our starter gives you all the resistance to fire, so I think that you make a good point. Like we could just pivot to the ice scales and wield fire starter, and then we're just gonna blow things up bad, and it's gonna be great. Yeah, I think that we have a plan. I think that's what we're gonna be doing. I still miss old Okawaru. I would prefer to have old Okawaru compared to this. This old Okawaru gives you more stuff over the long run, but not yet. That is going to be the plan, but not immediately. Good stuff. Good stuff. Um, I wish it had been gold scales. The Amulet of Elemental Vulnerability. You know what? That is not a bad item for now. It will be a bad item soon, but it will be a good item for here. Um, it gives me poison resistance that I didn't have, which is relevant here, and it gives me a ton of armor class, which I did have, but it's always better to have more. Okawaru is just another scroll of disappointment now. Yeah, you go Okawaru for hero and finesse more than for the gifts. The gifts are um, going to be lackluster. It's a shame. We found butterflies. I really think that if you have a scroll of butterflies and you are a worshipper of Okawaru, it should just um, push things away. It would make it better than a scroll summoning if you're a worshipper of Okawaru, of course, because the scroll summoning doesn't do anything. Um, I can tap that Hydra, no problem. I can tap everything here, no problem. Like I don't even need to buff because I have 34 armor class. It is insane how strong I am. And when I switch to Fire Starter, I will be even stronger. Yep, time to turn off invocations, or well, not really turn off invocations, but turn on armor skill. I'm gonna gain so much armor class when I switch to this. Your armor class would increase by 5.9. It's not that much, but it is still a decent amount. Definitely works very well to offset the loss of the Darflail of protection. Um, but I want to stick with the Darflail for now. Wand of Digging is a great thing to have at this point in the game, but you seldom have it because it's a really rare thing to have. Um, Oh, it feels so good to not have to worry about Hydras. I'm way stronger than anything here. Period. Um, wow, this Komodo dragon is definitely wrecking me a little bit. Hmm. All right. I still believe that I am significantly stronger than everything here in a 1v1. If I am caught 3v1 in the open, um, then yeah, it's not gonna go very well for me. Besides, Komodo dragons hit really hard. I still beat them 1v1. Okay. You say that as you take a 32. Yeah. So many throwables. I do have to go for throwing. Um, so going into the mid game, my greatest weakness is gonna be the lack of willpower. That could very reasonably kill me. So I hope it doesn't happen, but it can happen. I feel like a juggernaut. It really is insane. Like, is if I don't take a bad fight, it's as simple as that. I just have to not take bad fights, and I win. Um, for now. The thing, and that's funnily enough, that is just like a thing that you can apply to the entirety of Crawl. Crawl is based on not taking bad fights. If you don't take bad fights, you win. The thing is that um, the power level of your character determines what is a bad fight and what isn't a bad fight. Um, a character like the one that I have, but with more accuracy, would have probably not had a terrible time dealing with a Komodo dragon earlier. Which, by the way, in a second attempt at fighting it, I killed it no problem. It was just the fact that I got a little bit unlucky um, with it piercing through my 36 armor class a couple of turns in a row. Mm, but yeah, with more accuracy, I would have killed the Komodo dragon before it could have dealt a lot of damage to me. So it wouldn't have been a bad fight to take a 3v1 while surrounded in Lure. If my character was slightly better, but that would be like a crazy character. Oh, I ran out of the second manual. That was fast. I thought it was gonna last me longer. I'm gonna turn it off now. We are gonna go to Mazes, and it's time to switch from the Darflail to the Ice Scales. And from the Shadow Skills to the Great Mace, yeah. 35-7. Damage rating is 47, plus crazy explosions. Because I'm using elemental vulnerability, I have no resistance to fire, but we're gonna be taking that off in time, so yeah, soon we're gonna take that off. Why did I sidestep the explosion? I'm immune to fire clouds. I should keep that in mind. But it's such a rare property to have that I'm probably gonna have a hard time remembering. Hmm. The explosion damage is actually piling up because I don't have fire resistance. Maybe it's time to take off elemental vulnerability. I'm gonna miss the poison resistance. Yeah, the difference is significant. I don't think I'm gonna need a boomerang. We can probably drop that on the floor. Guardian Serpent in Lure 5. Well, it is Lure 5 to be perfectly fair. Not one, but two people streaming Crawl. Is this tournament the game's renaissance moment? Not really. Um, every tournament, there's a lot of people that stream Crawl. Be surprised when there's two people streaming Crawl at the same time outside of a tournament. That's when things are gonna be crazy. Besides, Crawl will never be like a mainstream thing. Uh, much to the dismay of an earlier version of me, because if Crawl had the potential to be as big as any of the big games that you can think of, um, there would have been more people watching in in the zenith of demise and um oh man, I don't remember the name of the other guy. The name came up yesterday, but I'm so bad with names that I forgot it again. But you know the guy, the guy that streamed or that made crawl content before I did, and then it would have been good for me, and then it would have been good for the people who came after me. Yeah, ultraviolent. You know the one. You know the one because I don't know the one. But that is exactly who I was talking about. Thank you for that. Mm, we don't care about that. Probably gonna drop it. So yeah, the um, the armor that I was using before, the shadow scales, gave regen, but my current ice scales also gives regen, so it's not a problem. I kind of wish that it had the 2 strength, because the 2 strength is a little bit of extra damage. There was a crawl streamer even before all of those people, though he also streamed other things. Oh yeah, there's been like people who sporadically like add crawl to their rotation of variety streams, which is wild to me. Um, I follow one paper bag, I think he's called, who sometimes streams crawl, and then there's Yogi the monk as well, who sometimes plays crawl as well. Yeah, Yogi the monk will do a crawl run once in a while. Yeah, and then there's like very small streamers who dip their toe into crawl. But whenever I've seen those, like it's not names that I recognize from the crawl community on Discord. Not that I've done that in any recent times, neither being on the Discord nor watched small crawl streamers. The ads have heavily alienated me from the usage of Twitch, period. I used to watch so much Twitch. Um, when I first got my emote slots, I was so excited for them because I could upload whatever emote I wanted and I could use it forever for free on other streams. And now it's like I don't care. Like I have 5 slots open. I just don't know or care about what I could upload. The first 5 people to send me an emote, I'll put it on my emotes, as long as it makes sense, Like I'm not gonna put anything hateful or anything that could get me banned. Um, so yeah, you have been informed of that. If you want to have emotes uploaded on my stream, just let me know and I'll upload them. Well, let me know and provide me with the emote, of course. Celerity used to stream Crawl when not streaming Magic, but this is like 10 years ago. He's a fairly popular late night streamer who would never stream Crawl anymore, has too many views for that. I think it would be funny if like a big streamer with like 4 digits viewers streamed a roguelike. The closest thing to that I've ever seen was when Barbarous King played Rift Wizard on stream, and yeah, I was so excited. But he didn't keep up with the game because it's not his kind of game. He plays a lot of games that are like a roguelike adjacent. He plays a lot of roguelike inspired, but he doesn't play roguelikes, um, which is really tragic. I really wanted to see Barbarous King dump thousands of hours into Rift Wizard. Um, there's also a Japanese dude who sometimes streams Octopus on YouTube. I have not seen that one. Do you love how he'll get that question once in a while? He'll be like, "I'll play it if you pay me. I'm available for hire." Celerity. Hmm. Well, I don't have any money. Um, talking about not having any money, it's kind of becoming a problem. There may not be more streams in the future, starting in June or so, because it's getting quite dangerous. You're still modding his chat, but you watch him for Magic and Crawl and his late 9 hours that you don't super do anymore. But he played Balatron Slay the Spire, which you would watch at times as a lurker. This Nof streamed Star Sector for 500 viewers recently. I have no idea what Star Sector is. Is it a roguelike or is it roguelike inspired? Um, let's do the rest of the dungeon because we have already beaten Lur. It was easy. But of course it was easy. Look at my character. My character is cracked. It's actually insane. Look at this. Oh, I'm getting destroyed by a Salamander Tyrant. That is a little bit of a problem. I am pretty strong, but I have this feeling that Hubris is gonna get me killed pretty bad. Yeah, the only reason why I didn't get deleted there is because of Firestarter. Without Firestarter, I would be super dead. Okay. Big heal, big gulps. Thank you, Oni, for being amazing. Oni is really just Ogre, but better. Is that the crawl developers telling us that the same thing but Japanese is better? Hmm, who knows? Oh wow, Evening Star Flaming. Um, I have one enchant weapon. If I had like 6 or 7, I probably would have jumped. Um, would have jumped ship for that. Where did that Evening Star came from? But yeah, keep in mind that was a Salamander Tyrant. It's not a joke monster. It's a pretty strong Lair Branch top tier enemy, and I deleted it like it was nothing in a 1v1. So this is looking really good. It's looking like we are gonna have quite the run. Sponsored by the two manuals of armor, of course. I cannot believe that I saw the first one and I was like, nah, I don't think I'm using that. I think I'm going forms. And then I saw the second one and I was like, no, we have to use that. Silence would be good. We have silence. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for silence here. Silence kills Jorgrun Bath. Yeah, you don't stand a chance. With silence, Jorgrun stands 0 chance. Without silence, Jorgrun would have been reasonably scary. Um, and you know, the nicest thing about this is that since I have a Randart weapon and, well, an on-Randart weapon and a Randart armor, I will save every scroll of enchant weapon / enchant armor that comes my way, so I will be able to switch to, I don't know, a giant spike cloth and gold scales for the end game. Um, it feels so good. It's really, really good of a weapon. It's really good. Um, it gives you AoE that you don't have normally unless you are using an axe, right? Did you see that? What I just did? I just tapped a band of bolt guards. It was like 8 bolt guards, and I tapped them, and I did get reasonably hurt. I ended up at like 1/3 of my HP, but I didn't lose chunks of my HP, and I beat them all. This is a character before Lure Branches, and it's beating 8 bolt guards. That's a ridiculous fight, straight up, like a ridiculous fight at this point in the game. Not unlike the Salamander Tyrant from earlier, and I still just like wreck them. um, you save every enchant scroll for artifacts? No, you cannot enchant artifacts. What I'm saying is, since my stuff already cannot use enchant scrolls, I'll save them for later when I find potentially higher quality items that can be enchanted, that are better than my artifacts that I have right now, which is gonna take a while. That's gonna happen during the last hour of the character if we get to that point in the first place. Because what I have is very high quality gear. I could reasonably just win the game with what I have in terms of armor and weapon. Yes, saving them also for the small chance that Trop requires them. Okawaru did you a solid this game. Yeah, I was trash talking Okawaru, but it's just that the current version is just worse. I miss the old Okawaru that would shower you with trash, but you would get 4 to 5 strong, real good items in every run, and it's just something that cannot happen anymore. He'll be back to throwing with his presence in no time. Yeah, one boomerang. If they can be enchanted, then how can you have a +7 artifact? They cannot be enchanted by me. Um, but because that's just like a mechanic of artifacts, but they can be generated, enchanted. Artifacts. Yeah, so you can see +10 short swords, +0 shadow scales. Oh, if I could enchant this, I would be so happy. In fact, one of the mechanics of Mountain Dwarf is that they can enchant artifacts. So if a Mountain Dwarf gets an artifact like this, they can just turn it into a +11 shadow scales with the correct amount of scrolls of enchant armor anyway. Um, You only have one win this tournament, only 2 games played, lol. It was a knockout win. I have 2 wins and 4 games played. My first attempts were Oni Earth Elementalist, and then I played 2 of those, and it went very poorly. And I was like, wow, this game sucks. And then I played on Monday, and I won, and then I played on Tuesday, and I won, and then I am playing on Wednesday. Yeah, +10. Mm, but the thing is that oh, wait, let me see this first. Gotta check the scarf and the hat, and I think the hat takes priority because I don't have a hat. Um, yeah, and I have to choose between them, right? Do I have to? No, I have to choose between them because going here is gonna drop me here, so I don't get to choose the scarf or like the hat. I have to get the hat. Unless I can get 2 artifacts. Getting 2 artifacts beats getting the hat, which I can. I can get the scarf, and I can get the ring. Now artifact. +10 short sword. Yeah, the problem here is that it's a short sword. It's like a highly enchanted, supremely enchanted toothpick. Like I bet you can kill something with that given enough time, but it's still a toothpick at the end of the day. And in comparison, I have a great mace, which yeah, base damage 17. The base damage of the short sword is like 5 or so. Um, maybe 6, but it's either 5 or 6. It may have been changed. Can you use Shatter to break walls in the gauntlet? Yes. If I had one. The ability to use Shatter at this point in the game is pretty rare because it's super early. Gauntlets spawn late dungeon. It can be castable with Sif. Yeah, that's like one way to do it. Also, not only Sif, you can also do it with Lugonu. If you have Lugonu, you can use Lugonu Corruption to break a strategic wall so you can access everything in the gauntlet. And then you just get everything. Like, you sure you have to go through a couple of hard fights, but you get everything, so it's super worth it. Enchant weapon, and we get the ring. And we get the scarf, and we have to fight a Bogart and a Worldbinder, a little bit scary. And we have to fight this ghost crab. We should be fine, right? I would like to believe that it's gonna be okay. It's rare to even have Shatter found at this point. Yep. Can be castable with Civ, yeah. Okay. Alright. So, what is this? Ringmail and helmet. Ooh, I cannot use either, but that would have been interesting if I had the ability to do so. You have to fight a Sin Beast, which is a little bit dangerous for this point in the game, but no, I'm really powerful this game. This is a strong character. Alright, let's go over here. Okay, for a second I got worried that it was gonna start someone spamming me. Scarf of Propulsion. That's pretty good. Actually, that's super good. I will gladly take the 1 armor class loss for another source of regen, and poison resistance, and repulsion, and resistance to negative. This is insane. You might need to look at my RC file. What a polite world binder. Yes, it cast once, and it just walked next to me for me to kill it. I used to have a bot but the bot quit because I have not been on stream for a while. It has not been used. So let me see what I can do to get you my RC file. I should have it in my. No, let's see. Yeah, I was thinking that maybe I had it in my browser history. Give me a second. Here you go. Easy to find with the correct resources. All right. Ghostcraft versus Oni of Okawaru. Easy. I'm glad that it was alone. If it had had any kind of support, it would have been a little bit rough. Ring of Spite. I wish that 6 intelligence was 6 strength. If it was 6 strength, it would have been so much better. It's still exponentially better than the Ring of Resistance to Corrosion that I was carrying. We can drop that. That's an 8 strength ring with 2 pips of cold resistance. Game's kind of blessing me with the sauce. We are getting the good stuff. Man, this is such an insane character. I just need slightly more armor class and we're good. But this is wild. This is so crazy. This is a loaded gauntlet for a loaded character. This character is so loaded that I think I can tap the Minotaur, no buffs. And yeah, that is crazy. Okay, give me that. Yep. Okay. Now, instead of ice skills, I really wish these were fire skills. Yep, getting all the gear I need to move to Siberia. Still needs a dark mole. Oh, the dark mole would be neat. I would definitely appreciate that. All right. That's a pretty good sling, but we're not using it. But it is pretty good. If you find something like this, put it on and then put on as much slaying as you can, and you're gonna have an okay time. And then at some point you will be like, even though I have a lot of slaying, this is not dealing enough damage, and then you replace it. But yeah, pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff from that gauntlet. Careful with that orc or ogre mage because it has paralysis, and so I could get paralyzed and killed here technically. But I kill it. Okay, there we go. Man, this thing making me immune to the fire clouds. It's so crazy. Um, You are making so many explosions with this, and it's so much AoE. It's wonderful. It truly is wonderful. Oh, this is D15 already. Man, we are this is wild. If I hadn't already gone and done Lair, I think that this could be a Lord of Darkness 3 character with how cracked it is. But the ship has already set sail on that since I already went to Lair. Um, For Lord of Darkness 3, you can only go to Dungeon, Depths, Pandemonium, or Hell, and Sot. It's very, very difficult. It's been a couple of tournaments since I've attempted it. Last time I did it, I died in Sot because I ran out of ammunition. This was right before the removal of ammunition. I can do the 6 runs before the Depths one. Depends on what I get from Orc, which I haven't gone there. Every time I do it is because I get an Orc portal to Pan. Warlord. I'm gonna respect this Warlord and go for Hero. Should have gone for Finesse instead, because at this point Hero is barely doing anything. Yes. Oh no, I still do not have Mindele on Dark Maul. That's crazy. Does it grant immunity to Immolation explosions? I don't think so, but it gives crazy resistance. It gives 2 pips of fire resistance. So it doesn't grant the immunity to the explosion, but it does give you immunity to the fire clouds, which are the part that's the most damaging. Okay, back to fighting we go. I think we can go for like 22 fighting. Yeah, we're strong, strong. Hubris is going to be the main killing factor here. Or the other thing, because we are missing one other thing apart from Hubris. Um, yeah, we're missing willpower. That is the one other thing that could kill me. If I acquire willpower, then only Hubris will kill me. um, yes, formerly known as magic resistance. Nergal. Okay, bye-bye, Nergal. This is so unfair to the game. And to think that I was gonna pass on Firestarter. Oh, it's this one. Okay. This would be a great time to have a scroll of emo, but I don't have that. Unfortunately, there is no emo for me. What is here, however, is hero finesse. We're gonna hero finesse this, and I should be able to beat them all. Um, Yeah, this is the hardest orc ending by a mile, um, because all of these guys hit really hard, and there's a lot of them. Um, but if I can fight them all versus one, the clouds are gonna help a lot. And if I had emo, it would be almost free. Would be kill one and then just they all explode and I beat them all. Poison plus attraction will do the job. Mm, the thing is that I already generate clouds, and attraction is scary to use. Um, so I don't really want to do that. The iron troll is one of the scariest things here, actually. This guy has fire resistance, big armor class, and hits really hard. Okay, fortunately we were able to easily kill it. We are swinging the mace at 0.3 delay. That means 10 swings of the mace per 3 turns. Yeah, this is wild. Iron Troll, this entire orc is messed up. Yeah, this is the hardest ending of orc that exists. Careful with this. I have potions of willpower. Mm, ouch, big damage, 45. But I got hit by something else. Okay. Practically Kaslal. Yeah, pretty much. You know, this is a little bit scary. I'm definitely feeling the heat here. I'm gonna read fear and walk away. I have 2 regen per turn. I have not found an amulet. We could maybe put on Guardian Spirit again. But I have high hopes for finding an amulet here. I almost did it in one go, which is insane because this is genuinely the hardest ending of Orc by a mile. And I cleared most of it in one go. It's insane. I'm gonna buy that to replace the one that I spent. We don't care about that. What is that? Masterwork plate. Ooh, that's a shame. I wish I could try that on. Enchant armor, maybe for later. We do not know if I will come across something better than what I currently have. Yeah. Okawara may not have provided me endgame gear, but will, or like Okawara did provide me gear that will make it very easy for me to get to the endgame. Yeah, like it's not like it's bad for the endgame. It's just not amazing for the endgame. But definitely the game is winnable. Even if I have only what I currently have, which, yeah. I wish I had more armor class. 25 is low for the end game. That is going to be a problem later on. In fact, it might start being a problem during lair branches. But I also have insane damage output, so it might be fine. What are these shops? They have like nothing for me. Armor, general, and there's 3. Oh, yeah, I didn't have the 4th one in line of sight. Armor, general. Okay. What armor am I wearing? I am wearing +9 Ice Dragon Scales. Highly enchanted. It is as high as it can go normally. +9. Though as an artifact, it could have spawned with more than +9. But Ice Dragon Scales give you weakness to fire, which is not really a problem for what I have. I have good enough fire resistance to win the game. Um, but I can get better armor than this. The best thing about it, however, is the 5 slaying and the regen. Yeah, these two properties are bonkers. Find Macabre Finger and the +8 armor class ring. Oh, that would be nice. Mm, mm, this game has an artifact system where they can be generated with random properties. The enchantment is like a random property. These are properties innate to fire or to ice dragon scales. Well, not the third pip. Actually, just gives you 2 pips of cold resistance. This gives 3 for some reason. Um, the region is random property, the 2 intelligence, the 5 slaying, these are random properties, and the third pip of fire, cold resistance, is a random property as well. So yeah, artifacts can be really crazy, random artifacts. The maze that I have, Fire Starter, is not random. This immolate property that gives inner flame to whatever I hit with the mace is something that only this weapon has. Um, the immunity to fire clouds is not only something that this weapon has, but is something very rare and not really something that you will come across in an everyday run or in most runs. We have Swamp and Snake. I'm gonna try Swamp first. I hope I do not regret this. I think both are pretty hard. I wish I didn't have to do either of them at this point. Because despite how strong I am, I feel underprepared for this place. Um, just because I don't have good enough armor class. Yeah, some things here are gonna hit really hard. Snake is brutal for Onis. Yep. Immediately, I get into a fight that chunks me down pretty bad. Does Scroll have armor incompatibilities, like how in NetHack some armor seriously hinders spellcasting and body armor hurts monks melee to hit? You think that's maybe sort of mechanic that Kroll tries to avoid? Armor has a property called what is it? Encumbrance rating. It's right here. Encumbrance rating. This armor has encumbrance rating of 11, which kind of means that you are probably better off using this armor at all if you have 11 or more strength. Like if you have 11 or less, it's gonna be rough. You will notice a sharp drop in evasion when you're wearing it. Your spells will be super hard to cast. Um, it's the kind of thing that is mitigated by both having strength and having armor skill. But it cannot really ever be completely removed. You can compensate for it by training your spells more, so you can cast them better when wearing heavy armor. So yeah, armor does directly hinder spellcasting. It's not like in NetHack where only metallic armor does. This is based on the weight of the armor. If the armor is too heavy, you're gonna have a very hard time casting spells and of course dodging stuff. In NetHack, dodging is like the more armor you have, the more dodgy you are, which is ridiculous. In this game, usually armor gives you evasion penalties. Um, and also, Onis are large, right? So it's harder for an Oni to dodge. That's why I have not really bothered training dodging. Besides, I have 10 dexterity, or like 9 dexterity. That's not really gonna help me dodge anything. Ouch. Getting flung around from one fight to another in this part of the game is definitely not what you want. Armor description screen has spellcasting penalties displayed now. Really? Oh, that's the weapon. What is the armor? This. Yeah. If you remove this item, your spell failure would improve. So yeah, if I take it off, I can cast but very slightly better. Not that we care really about casting those things at this point. If I wanted to pick up more spells, I'd probably pick up Fugu of the Fallen. I've heard that's pretty good. A Blink, I have it in a shop. I could buy it. but I wouldn't go for anything that's too high level. Um, I think that my winning formula is to just stick to what I'm doing and try to do it as best as I can. Um, Once I get to 22 fighting, I'm going to go back to training armor because this is going to be an armor heavy character. Training armor makes it so that you get more armor class if you're wearing heavy armor. So I'm interested in eventually replacing these ice scales with gold scales or something, which are the best or well, not the best, but like the heaviest armor that exists that comes from dragons. Um, it is as heavy as the heaviest armor that doesn't come from dragons, but gold scales gives less armor class, but gives more resistances. And also it is easier to acquire than the other one, which is crystal plate. You still miss the healing from Warblood. Fugu is not the same. I kind of deleted Warblood from my mind. I was like, oh yeah, this is the new version of Song of Slaying, which yeah, that hasn't been in the game for a while. I completely forgot about Warblood. Um, Okay, so the kind of fight that I'm getting in here, if I didn't have the crazy gear that I have, I would have died so many times already. If you ever see me drop below 100 HP, it's a fight that probably would have killed me if I didn't have the gear that I have. Yeah, almost certainly I would have died there. Fenstrider. Unfortunately, this is one of the few monsters that threatens me with the most dangerous thing for my character, which is Paralyze. Um, Not to mention that I'm at 89 HP. Fenstrider and support. Okay, went for a duel. One shot the Fenstrider, like straight up just hit the Fenstrider once. One shot the Fenstrider. Oh, look at that. It has the decency to let me pick up the one of roots that the Fenstrider dropped. That is nice. So the god that I'm worshipping, which is Okawaru, has a couple of properties, like a couple of reasons for you to worship. It has Hero, which temporarily increases all of your combat skills, both offensive and defensive. This increases armor, increases your weapon skill, increases fighting, increases your throwing skills, um, increases dodging, but it doesn't increase like anything magic or um, shape shifting or um, evocations related, right? Um, there's also finesse, which greatly increases your combat speed. The duration is increased by invocations skill. Mm. How long does that hero last? It lasts longer if I get more invocations skill. Um, Invocations is kind of like how effective your god abilities are. The more invocations, more powerful god abilities. Obviously, some characters do not care about invocations. Um, and then there's a third ability which you saw me use, which pretty much teleports me into a room for a 1v1 versus any given monster that is eligible. It needs to be a dangerous monster. If it's not dangerous, if it's like a joke monster like this Swarmworm, um, I cannot challenge it to a 1v1 because it could be very easy for me to just use the 1v1 to heal. Um, yeah, it lasts for enough to win a fight, pretty much. For enough to win or disengage from a fight, for you to decide, hey, I'm not winning this, and I should leave. All of these fights are dealing horrendous amounts of damage to me. Like I'm taking 100 plus damage every fight. This is very scary. Yeah, Lerny is nasty. Not the kind of thing that you want to see with only 25 armor class. Um, I might be able to win. Can you see invisible? No. Am I standing on water? Yes. If I'm standing on water, invisibility doesn't really work because the monster can't see that I'm standing on water. So we step away from water, we drink invis, we finesse hero, and then we are gonna bop Lerny. This is one turn of Lerny melee. One turn of Lerny melee is kind of ridiculous. You hit Lerny but do no damage? Are you serious? Armor class none? How bad of a roll that was. Uh, for for the sake of you know, for the sake of it, I have a 66 damage rating and I just hit it for 0 damage. Can the Hydra walk on land without penalties? Yes. In fact, the only thing that it has over, like, it's the other way around. It swims way faster than I can walk through land. So if it's in a water tile, it just catches up to me if I'm standing on water. How is it even possible to do 0 with a supremely bad roll? With a supremely bad roll. Like, this is the kind of once in a playthrough kind of roll. How exactly does a character with 66 damage rating hit a monster with 0 armor class for 0 damage? With an incredibly bad roll. And then I one-shot it. The second attack one-shots it. The first attack does 0 damage and the second attack one-shots it. It has 150 damage. You know what? We take those. Jeez. Oh, I went for a headbutt. Why do I have horns? Or the ability? Yeah. Oh, Oni. Oni is why I have a horns. Okay, yeah. That ogres didn't have that before. Then it can also destroy trees. Yes, that's a property exclusive to Lerny, and I think Shtawa can also destroy trees, but I'm not sure. Shtawa destroys doors, for sure. You thought slaying was added on the equation at the end, so even if the roll was bad, slaying did something. I think slaying can roll 0. Yeah, because we do have, what is it, 6 slaying? Oh, it's 5 slaying. Yeah, it's 5 slaying. Yeah, that was a supremely bad roll. Yeah, I also hate how they do the math in this game. This game has insane, ridiculous amounts of randomness that it just would be better without. Because to to be able to ignore how ridiculously random the game is, you need to have a character that's like on an insane power level, right? Kind of like this one. This one can get away with doing a lot of stuff that most other characters wouldn't be able to do um, because of the quality of character. Period. Um, Everything has gone well for this character. I got good gear. I got 2 manuals of armor, which yeah, getting 2 manuals of armor as a noni is not really a common occurrence. I was planning on going for a form, which have I yeah I have not found. I found a fortress talisman. What is that? Hmm. Interesting. Seems like a stepping stone for statue form. Yeah, I would have used a little bit of that. Gives you more armor class and more unarmed combat, and it melts everything. Melts everything. Um, would have been okay. I definitely would have used that, but I just found it in this level. So imagine wandering for so long without armor, with like 8 armor class, which is the average Oni experience. And yeah, it would have been super painful. But we don't have to worry about that. That was actually my main hesitating factor when I started this character, when I started this Oni. I was like, I don't want to have a game like that. Those games are really one of the reasons that I like burned out on Crawl as hard as I have. It's just painful to run through a game with the potential of being so powerful, but the reality that you're not that powerful, and you may not ever get to the point where you are genuinely powerful, but this character doesn't have that problem. This character got everything that it needed at a reasonable time in the game. Ooh, it feels good. Um, let's see, what else do we need to do? I got my first rune. Did we do a little bit of snake before bolts? We get a hard ice cave. Shouldn't be a problem given that I have 3 resistance to cold, 3 pips of cold resistance. Um, Shock Serpent, I have the resistance. Having the resistance is helping a lot. Like, it's the kind of thing that is not noticeable or tangible at all in the early game, but in the mid game and beyond, it is very much tangible. I'm gonna read scroll magic mapping. Okay, we are going in the exact wrong direction. I'm glad that I read that thing. Scarf of Repulsion. What I have is already a Scarf of Repulsion. It's a Scarf of Repulsion with poison resistance to negative, and with regen. It's such a good item. It's hilariously good because I didn't have poison resistance and I didn't have resistance to negative. And regen is not like you can only have one source of it, the more the better. And repulsion is also really good for, well, we haven't really gotten to the point in the game where it is obvious why it is good, but bolts is that part of the game. The Yoctors and the Center Warriors and stuff. Oh, this is the slimy ice cave. This one is not very common. But it should be fine because we also have resistance to corrosion. We don't have it on, but we have it. I think we can probably get away with taking off the fire resistance for a little bit. If you had chosen repel, would have been a lifesaver already. Yeah, it is a lifesaver every time because every time you get bolts and jactors, right? Also, elves, master archers are super nasty. Normal archers are also really nasty. It also can repel crystal spears and iron shots and stuff like that. It can repel giant large rocks. Yeah, there's plenty of stuff that you can do well against if you have repulsion. Some pretty lousy gear. But you know what? I don't mind. I genuinely do not care um, because I don't need it. I should probably not be in line of sight of that orange crystal statue. Oh, a manual of ice magic. We have gotten so many manuals in this game. 2 manuals of armor, a manual of fire magic, and a manual of ice magic. Let's see what we got. Maybe we can actually do something funny with those manuals. Though I think that my best path through the game is to just stick to what I have been doing so far and just make it better. Instead of devoting experience towards not making better what has gotten me this far. I could get this spell on death. Dispel on death is a great spell because it doesn't check armor class or evasion or shield. If there's mysterious and death with a shield, it gets completely wrecked by Dispel on death. And it can also be really helpful for easily killing late game undead like leeches, and if I have to fight a royal mummy, it could also do okay against them. I need to train more necromancy to be able to cast it. I think I only have 5 necromancy, yeah. 10 or so would be nice. Have not trained a little bit of evocations. I often say that the least amount of evocations skill you have, the stronger the character, or like it is an indicator of character strength, because Evocations are really strong, but you can totally get through the game without evocations if you have a crazy character like the one that I have right now. Those globes are super good. You're just confused about the Hydra because of Age of Mythology has separate land on the Hydra and water only Scylla, which are otherwise very similar units. Hydras in Crawl can wander in land and in water. Um, yeah, they have no issues being in land or water. But they do better if they're on water since they can easily catch up to you. Look at that, I just found a scroll blinking. Makes more sense that it can swim fast but also walk at a decent pace like crocodiles and tigers and snakes. Exactly, exactly. Mm, actually, can tigers swim fast? Books, I don't think I care. What is a lupine talisman? Why is it so expensive? Nah, doesn't seem that good to me. It gives you claws 3 and 3 strength and dexterity. Does meld everything. Gives you regen, gives you slay per kill. Take down damage. What is that? Killing enemies will give a stacking bonus to your damage and accuracy, and slaying enough of them in a row will cause you to unleash a vicious howl that makes any still alive cower in fear and leaves them susceptible to a devastating leaping takedown. Ah, I see. Okay. Tigers don't swim faster than they run, but you doubt they're slow. Yeah, they're probably not slow. If they are jungle animals, they're probably adept at swimming. Enough that you're probably not gonna be outrunning them or outswimming them. Okay, I found my source of willpower. But the thing is that if I take off my source of willpower, I'm gonna be weaker. Like, the 8 strength. I really don't want to take off that 8 strength ring. It's giving me so much damage output. Do you think tigers swim and walk at the same speed? That counts fast for you because even swimmers have the speed they run. I have so many rings that are reminiscent of one another. Like that cold resistance to corrosion ring that I just dropped is just a worse version of the one that I already had. Hmm. Oh man, this is crazy. This is such an insane character. Like I'm really just running at the monsters and then I press tab like 2 times and then the monsters cease to exist. It is insane how good this character is, how much damage it deals. Um, to the point where it has enough damage output that it kills things before things become a problem. Um, and things totally have the opportunity or the possibility to become a problem, but they just never get to that point because I have damage output and I have enough tankiness to actually survive to the point where I can dish out that damage output. And it would be better if my weapon was a giant spike club or a giant club. Um, what do we have? Yeah, we do have plenty of giant spike clubs. None are special. They're always +0. To get a special giant spike club is indeed a very special thing. Um, it could still happen. I was hoping to get a funny giant spike glove from Okawaru, like a highly enchanted speed giant spike glove would be insane. um, I can beat Bashnia, but I would prefer not to fight Bashnia at this HP. Um, I have digging. How much digging do I have? Only 2 charges. It's a shame that one is so rare. Bashnia blinks me away, very nasty. Okay, I'm just gonna wait around the corner. And Bashnia dies. And Bashnia is such a difficult, dangerous, volatile fight on so many characters that I tend to just skip it. I like to not fight Bashnia. But this is such a Looney Tunes character that I could easily beat Vashnia. It did require a little bit of positioning, but where I needed a little bit of positioning, most other characters would have just straight up died in 2 turns, which is insane. Yeah, Repulsion helped a lot in that fight. The silent carry of this character, Repulsion, um, pretty good, and it's only gonna get better as that game goes on. Oh man, I love having all of these resistances already um, bundled in. Like I don't have to juggle through my inventory whenever I see a shock serpent because it's gonna delete me otherwise. It's so nice. Hmm. Another ring of willpower. I would like to receive something a little bit better than just plain willpower. Like, obviously, I do want to put it on, and I think that we are approaching very quickly the part of the game where it's just not possible for me to not be wearing willpower anymore. Fortunately, Onis get 4 willpower per level up, as far as I'm aware. So that means that I only need one source to not completely get wrecked um, by hexers. Let's see what the game says. Oni, yeah, 4 willpower per level up. If you have 3 willpower, you need 2 sources to be safe, but you're super safe. If you have 4 with 1 source, you're safe, but you're not super safe. Like you are like 6% chance to get hexed or so later in the game. So the safest way is to get 1 source of willpower and then drink a potion of willpower. And then you're safe against all but the strongest monsters. Um, and for the strongest monsters, which are not really that abundant anyway, you just drink your willpower and then you're fine. I'm gonna get surrounded. I don't want to get surrounded at this amount of HP. Yep. Once again, a weaker character would have totally died there. 100%. No question. Mm-hmm. How has your tournament been going, everyone? Have you had a fun time in the tournament? Have you even played at all? Or have you been like me before the tournament and you have been playing other games? Um, I have to tell you that I have been really, really enjoying um, my playthroughs of Metroidvanias. Yeah, I will probably play more after the crawl tournament. So you can just go back to pretending the channel doesn't exist until the next tournament, perhaps. Next on my list of Metroidvanias to play on stream is probably Hollow Knight. I have not played Hollow Knight in years, like a full playthrough. I've been playing a little bit of it off stream, like um, the Godmaster DLC, because I never played that when I originally played through the game, and I've been having a good time. Even if that scarf was a scarf of resistance, my character is already strong enough that I do not care about acquiring a scarf of resistance. So that was it for Lure Branches. We can go to Bolts. Okay, instantly marked. I think that should be Wake Up Call that I should put on. Oh man, do I have to take off the Drain Ring? I think I do. It's gonna hurt. Oh, okay, it didn't hurt that bad. I thought it would be much worse. I thought I was gonna lose like 50, 60 HP and let up, losing only 40. Um, Ouch. I'm getting wrecked here. Heavy corrosion, frozen. I think I'm just gonna try to walk out. Yikes. This is comprised almost entirely of monsters that if I was weaker, I should be fighting only one of like one at a time. All right, good stuff. So bad things are happening because I instantly got marked when I opened the door, pretty much, and so all of these monsters. Um, I was in front of a very nasty bolt, it seems. Okay, the fact that I did so well in that situation, yeah, should tell you how strong this character is. Mm, Norris, the philosopher with an evening star. Um, we should be fine. We should be fine. The Entropic Weaver corroding me made it not fine. Like I can deal with Norris alone. Norris with support is really rough. I take it Norris can travel through water. If it says travel through water, it is immune to being waterlogged. Um, can you see invisible? Yes, you can. But can you see invisible? Yes, you can. Okay. Mm, hmm. This is definitely not great. I would even go as far as to say this is pretty bad because I was excited to fight Norris in a 1v1. I think I win every time, but Norris, a band of deep trolls, an Ironbound Preserver, a Berserk Sky Shark, and Entropy Weaver while I'm 12 corroded. Yeah, I think that is just a bit too much. I think we have to use my one of linking because otherwise I think I die. Um, 14 tele. If I didn't blink there, I think I was gonna take a large amount of damage. Um, yeah, talking about taking a large amount of damage. That was super bad. The corrosion was messed up. One of my weak spots. I have very few weak spots, as I have said, hubris and um, resistance to corrosion now, because now I have willpower equipped. I would really love to find another source of willpower. I have not found a hat in the whole game. Yeah, there's a lot of hatches, not a lot of hats, as you can see. Mm, okay, round 2 versus Norris. Now I get a proper 1v1, and of course Norris gets completely wrecked. Who would have guessed? Um, Tango speed there. It's a pretty interesting item, but nothing that we really care about, given that we already have a pretty killer weapon. Tank, like I'm not gonna replace what I have for anything that is not larger. Like I would replace it for a good giant spike club if I happen to somehow acquire a very large amount of scrolls of enchant weapon. I think I have, well, I have 3 here, and I have like 1 in a shop or so, something along those lines. Um, That minus move is very annoying. I wonder how it's. I am stuck. I feel like I should read a tele because I just got stuck without being able to reposition for way too long. I'm glad that it doesn't prevent blinking from or like teleporting. If it prevented um, if it prevented translocations, it would have been terrible. Okay, where's my throwables? 21 jabs and 43 large rocks. We haven't even gotten to the point in the game where we're seeing um, giants and stuff which have large rocks. We already have such a sizable amount of them. The Wonders of Okawaru. It's still kind of a shell of its former self, unfortunately. Oh, a scroll blinking. That is what? Scroll blinking number 3? I think I've seen 3 blinkings in the whole game. That was a little bit spooky. How low did I go? Oh, one of these Yakters has a hand cannon. I guess they can drop hand cannons now. They were pretty rare otherwise. I wonder if at some point during this tournament I should do a launcher's character. Acquirement. Bad Scarf. Bad Ring. Demon Whip of Venom. Cool for a different character. I'm gonna get the money. The money is pretty bad. Bad acquirement, period. I guess that's what I should say. Bad acquirement. I wonder if the amount of monsters that it could summon was limited by the room in there, because it had very small room, right? So it only summoned 3 monsters, the Convoker. I saw that it was convoking in a very small room, and I decided to close the door to see if what would happen. I was fully prepared to deal with monsters being spawned next to me on the other side of the door, but fortunately that didn't happen. I'm glad the game isn't that jank. Okay, I have repulsion and 236 HP, so I can just run at these guys. Once again, like this is just not a normal representation of what it feels like to play an Oni. It's gonna be very painful unless you get super lucky. I'm talking about getting super lucky. I was stabbing a distortion weapon monster and I didn't get banished, so that's quite nice. Bolts 3, so we still have a little bit to go. We might end this character in under 3 hours. 2 hours. Oh, maybe not. I think that is gonna be a little bit difficult for me to end this character in under 3 hours. If it's 2 hours and I'm here, we finally found a hat. I could enchant that, but I'm not going to. We're just gonna wear it um, for morale purposes. Mm, Granite Talisman. So it did appear, statue form. It just appeared in Bolts 3. I'm very glad that I didn't commit to the forms plan. Like when I saw the first manual, I pretty much immediately disregarded it because I was like, there's no way that I'm gonna get armor that actually makes it worth it to go for training armor, right? And then I found the shadow scales, and I found the second. No, I found the second manual, and I was like, okay, at this point I kind of have to go armor. And then I found armor that actually made it worth it to go armor, and I think that was the beginning of these characters. Great luck when it comes to stuff in general. Um, yeah, great weapon, great armor, great HP, great run. Um, More strength. Why wouldn't I get more strength? More strength means more damage. My damage rating with Firestarter is 57. It used to be 61, I think, when I was wearing the +8. The +8 strength ring, but unfortunately I had to take that off. If we find the macabre finger necklace, it's gonna be amazing. The ghostly Marjorie, you can't do that. That's so evil. Why can you revive Marjorie? Wow, these death mages are very annoying nowadays with their ability to revive everything. A little bit of my fault. Definitely could have played this better. Nice teleport. Okay, Elephants have fire breath that is comparable in power to a normal fire, and they also have strong melee instead of having more mutations. So they're pretty spooky enemies. And now it seems that Marjorie always has a Elephant as part of her band. I wonder if her flavor was adjusted. Okay, so far so good. We haven't really found anything that has made me be like, oh, I'm gonna die, apart from Norris. But even then, I knew that Norris was beatable. I just happened to be fighting Norris in an inconvenient position for me, very disadvantageous position. Um, Once we actually fought Norris 1v1, it was free, no problem. Next is Bolts 5. We want to do funny Bolts 5 stuff. I think we do want to do funny Bolts 5 stuff, but do we want to do it right now? We didn't get a path to Pandemonium or Hell anywhere in the game. Nope, we didn't get a path to Pandemonium or Hell, so we cannot get the banner of 6 runes before depths. I can get 3 because I'm not doing Tomb with this character. But I don't think I care. You know, I'm gonna do depths. You know, I could also do Elf. Let's see what Elf has to offer. I have room for a hat upgrade. I'm training throwing, and I have not thrown a lot. I'm at 15 throwing. I set the stop at 20, but when I need it, it will come in clutch. So many elves. Yeah, something funny about this weapon is that the explosions, understandably, produce a crazy amount of noise, and by extension, they attract a lot of enemies. So more enemies, more explosions, more enemies, and that's how you end up role playing as a castle worshipper, even if you are not a castle worshipper. Um, Now, if I had gone Castle, which my main grievance for going Castle, one of the reasons why I consider Castle to be one of, if not the weakest gods in the game, is the large amount of noise that Castle produces, which is a severe disadvantage. But this character already deals with that disadvantage pretty much every time. Now, the thing is that if I had gone Castle, I wouldn't have had access to Firestarter because Firestarter was an Okawaru gift. So yeah, I'm glad that I didn't go Caslal. But I think that you could say the same every time you don't go Caslal. I'm glad that I didn't go Caslal. I wonder when was the last time that I played a Caslal character. Must have been years at this point because it's been years in general since I've played Crawl with any semblance of consistency. I want a source of willpower, like specifically a hat of willpower. That is the ideal item. Um, the Hat of the Alchemist could be okay, though I value my armor class greatly and I do not need the resistances. On the other hand, if I get the Hat of the Alchemist, I could replace both my rings with a ring of armor class and a ring of 8 strength, and so I don't have the armor class problem and I don't have the resistances problem. So yeah, the Heart of the Alchemist is always a great item. It is always optimal to wear it pretty much because of how much stress it relieves on your gear. Frees you up to wear the truly busted things. Okay, I'm not going in there. Shop in Elf 3. It's books. Who cares about books? Certainly not me. Another shop. Okay. It's a shop, an armor shop, which, yeah, not very exciting for an Oni. Most of the stuff in there I cannot use. Okay, Elf Pyromancer with distortion. Gotta be careful with it. Throw a rock. That gets the job done. This repulsion that I've had for quite a while, it's really coming into play here and in bolts. In bolts, there were so many instances where I fully believe I would have died if I had played as recklessly as I have been playing throughout this game. Um, Overall, if I had not gotten repulsion, these are some pretty crazy good scrolls. Enchant armor and enchant weapon, I might buy them later if the need arises. Another armor emporium. I mean, unless it gives me a hat of willpower, I don't care. I genuinely do not care unless it gives me a hat of willpower. Okay, this deserves a scroll of immolation. Come on. Explosion time. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. I think it's time for me to. Was that a Master Archer? Yeah, it was a Master Archer. Time for me to not be so close to a Master Archer. Or not be so far from a Master Archer, to be more precise. Wow, these rocks have come in clutch here. Now that I have an amulet of regen, I have three sources of regen. I have three regen per turn. It's wild. I have more regen than I had with my Jiva character somehow. Man, when you play a large character like an Oni or a troll and it gets going, it's so enjoyable. It's very very fun. That ring is good. Fire resistance, cold resistance, 5 evasion. Pretty good stuff. Pretty good ring. This ring is also. Ooh! Oh! Look at that ring! It's double willpower. Okay, instant put on. Instantly. Um, yeah, resistance to electricity, fire resistance, so we can take off the other ring as well. This is so good. It's a run maker. Um, it's a run maker, straight up. To think that this incredible ring that I found early on, um, yeah, I found it on level 3 of the dungeon, and it got me to this point, but it's time for it to be replaced by something else. Yeah, now I am back to my 34 strength, and my damage rating is 64. I wonder what's their damage rating with the rocks. 90. 90, because the rocks have huge base damage. Huge. Base damage 20. Um, yep. They also scale really well with strength. Um, we don't need that. So coming here very clearly was the correct thing to do. We don't care about the Ring of Shadows. I don't think we care about this ring. Only fire and cold resistance. Not for this character. Interesting. But if instead of 6 intelligence it was 6 strength, I would have definitely put it on. The Crown of Vainglory. What is that? An extravagant crown of gold, filigree, and glittering jewels that even a king could feel immodest wearing. It grants its wearing a regal aura, the match of any in heaven, and also a great deal of unearned confidence. Yes, ring plus plus. You can equip 2 additional rings. Your bathing light that prevents you from turning invisible. Whenever you enter a new floor, you announce yourself to nearby enemies and refuse to leave the floor again for some time. Oh my jeez, that's so scary. That is scary. But it's so much willpower. I mean, obviously, I think we wear it. Um, I think we are gonna wear it, but I gotta really think about how exactly are we going to do this? What are we going to put on it? I need armor class. Um, we have 2 rings of protection, so that already gives me 11 armor class, which is bonkers. Um, we have that ring that gives me poison resistance, resistance to negative, and 4 armor class, weakness to cold. Yeah, it's 2 ring slots, GG. You instant equip that sucker, is like 3 items in one. It is 3, literally 3 items in one. Yep. You feel supremely confident. Okay, let's find some armor class rings, like this one. Let's find another armor class ring. Yeah, I think that we need to equip this one. 39 armor class. Nah, this is insane. This is insane. And this is before gold scales. If I ever get to the point where I wear the gold scales, we are just done. It's over. This is so good. Oh man, this is crazy. That's crazy good. It's the perfect item for this character. And now I have to see how bad it's going to be. The refusing to leave the floor effect. Just need to find one more crazy ring. Yeah, the crazy ring needs to have armor class. Ideally, it's a ring of resistance to corrosion with see invisible, with 4 armor class, and a little bit of fire resistance. If I amass those properties, then yeah, we're good. We're good. That would be the ideal best ring, but of course the most important property is the armor class, and then if it has one of the other that I mentioned, once again being fire resistance, resistance to corrosion, see invisible, resistance to negative, would be great. Yeah, I don't have a willpower problem anymore. There's no willpower problems for the Majesty. I have 3 sources of willpower equipped. I'm immune to magic, except for things that ignore willpower. Um, oh boy, what a run! What a run! Let's go to do depths. Can replace the corrode, bring quickly with plus will on the crown. You are right. Should I do that right now? Yeah, okay, 3 pips of willpower is fine. We don't need 5 pips of willpower. Um, it's totally fine. We should never be hexed for the rest of the game with the amount of willpower that I have. I have a 10% chance to be paralyzed by a Dread Lich right now at experience level 22. When I actually see one, I should be okay. Um, and removes that lame corrode chance when you're hit, so it's safer anyways. Yeah, that corrode is quite annoying. There's been a couple of situations where it's gotten pretty bad. Okay, back to depths we go. Now for real. Vainglory. I wonder how long it lasts for. You feel willing to depart the floor again. How long did it last for? Mm, 30 turns or so? I did out explore after it wore off, but I think it's like 30 turns. I think I can live with Frail, because this character is that ridiculous. On most other characters, I would immediately get rid of it, but I don't think we care too much about Frail on this one. Like, I know I'll get rid of it before I end the game, but I would rather hold on to the potions of mutation. I have 9. Yeah, I was like, I should probably save whatever few I have, and I have 9, so okay. Yeah, I'm just operating on under the idea that I have few, because that's often how it is. You have few of whatever you need. Um, 20 throwing finally. Should I get it to 21 actually, so we get min delay with finesse or with hero? I'm gonna get it to 21, and I think We are gonna get 27. What mutations did you get when you quaffed it? It got rid of frail, and I also got hidden genetic potential. So that is that. These guys are not ready. No one could have prepared these guys um for a Noni throwing large rocks and being a worshipper of Okawaru. I have so many too. The crown does have the downside of being super nasty if I walk into an ambush, if I go downstairs into an ambush. I need to get a third room from somewhere. Should I get the should I get bolts 5? No, not with this thing. Yeah, if I go into bolts 5, if I go into bolts 5 with this character, I'm gonna have a bad time because I won't be able to escape it. You think the downside is the enemies are trapped inside ambush with you? Yeah, I'm kind of destroying them, but they can definitely overwhelm me with numbers. It's a lot harder now, of course, now that I have 13.9 armor class. The increase in armor class from the crown is so insane. Like it is bonkers how much armor class I gained thanks to the crown. Um, so situations where I drop dangerously low on HP are significantly more abundant, or like significantly less abundant. As you can see, I am. No, I'm gonna keep the scarf. The scarf is really good, better than the armor class now that I have 13.9. Like in these fights, I'm dropping like 180, 170. It's not too bad. Um, okay, time for 27 fighting. I want that scroll of silence. What are we going to drop for it? I think we might want to get rid of this vampiric demon whip. I don't think I'm using that. If I'm enchanting something, which now that I have a large amount of scrolls of enchant weapon, I should probably enchant a giant spike glove. Mm, it's a giant spike glove of draining. Not great, let me tell you that. Oh, more brand weapon. I have the suspicion that Fire Starter is gonna be better. Not to mention that I have 2 fire resistance, which that 2 fire resistance is coming from Fire Starter. So if I unwield it, I'll have no fire resistance, and that will be bad. In order for me to unwield Fire Starter, I need more fire resistance. We have fire resistance, cold resistance, and 5 evasion. But nah, I don't think so. It's not bad. But I don't value evasion that much with this character because this character is very large, right? So what's 13 evasion going to do that 8 evasion doesn't already do? A mystic cache, very ominous. What is this nasty vault that I walked into? Jori. I wonder if Jori was in the mystic cache. These tournament banners or whatever seem pretty hard to do. That is the point. They are pretty hard to do. They are achievements for the best of the best. Well, they're not really that hard. Some are crazy, like Lord of Darkness and others. But most of them are not that impossible to achieve. And this character is so bonkers insane. It really is blowing my mind how good it is. If this thing got through my resistances with a 19% cost fear. Yes, this character is indeed very cracked. It is bonkers. A Hive Talisman, and I cannot use it. Why is it completely useless to me? What makes it so that... Oh, yeah, it makes a bunch of allies, I suppose? And that's why? Yeah, it's a Hive Talisman, turns into a Hive. You'd be hard pressed to replace this weapon with Giant Club. That Immolate does a lot of work. Yes, yes, I agree. It's a lot of AoE. I did get a giant spike glove, however. It's not just a normal giant glove. Um, Game says that it has damage rating of 73 compared to the damage rating of 65 of the enchanted fire starter. Of course, on top of that, there is the explosions, right? So it's not as simple as the damage rating number makes it out to be. Um, Just when a good old Minotaur Berserker was surprised by how strong Heavy was. Really, I don't like Heavy because I feel like Heavy is it's I know it's not actually like a nerf to your damage output. If anything, it's a buff, but the fact that more time goes on between your actions makes it scary for me to use. Like I've used it and I've found that it just end up taking more damage than if I was not using it. I'm not a fan. Is there speed and accuracy differences between the two? No speed differences. They swing at the same speed, but there is definitely accuracy differences. And I'm sure that Firestarter is way more accurate. Yeah, -7, and Firestarter has -4. On top of that, Firestarter is enchanted. The difference between, or like for the enchantment, is not really that much of a problem because I can just dump all my scrolls into the giant spike glove. But it's still gonna be slightly less accurate because the Great Mace is just more accurate than the giant spike glove. You had that idea too, but you just melted stuff. Things dead equals not damage. You know what weapons I've liked with heavy? Demon Whip. Specifically Demon Whip, because a Demon Whip that's heavy is like wielding an unbranded two-hander, but you also have a shield. Um, in terms of attack speed and damage output, it is pretty good, in my opinion. They'll double the damage for 0.3 extra delay. What weapon were you using? Alright, that's it for Depths 4. And I still cannot go into Sod because you need at least 3 runes to enter the realm of Sod. Why are you doing this to me? All developers, it doesn't have to be this way. Make it so that I can go in with 2 runes if I want to, please. Please, 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 please. Because it's been a constant in these games that I am here ready to destroy Sot and I just can't because I need to get a third rune from somewhere. Um, oh man, I shouldn't do Bolts 5. I should not do Bolts 5. I can tell you that. I should not do Bolts 5. I guess we can do Slime. Slime shouldn't be very hard. When it says abandon the floor, does it mean leave for the next floor or leave for the previous floor? Anyway, it doesn't seem to last that long. It seems to last for like 10, 15 turns. Not a problem. This solution, that's actually pretty good. I'm gonna finesse because I respect this solution immensely. We get frailed immediately. The solution is getting destroyed. And yes, the solution did indeed get completely wrecked. That is one more unique to scrape off the list of unique slaying. There is a banner that says during the course of the tournament, kill every unique in the game, right? There are some that are really difficult to find. Um, so that is quite difficult. The solution being one of those that are really difficult to find. But I would say that the hardest one is probably Ignacio. Ignacio only spawns in Pandemonium, and unless you're going in a specific hunt for Ignacio, you're not likely to find him. I have very few Ignacio kills in all of my time playing Crawl. In fact, I would be surprised if I had more than one. Let's see what the bot says about that. Um, I killed Ignacio twice in the 9 Settler account. The last time was in November of 2021, so it's been almost 4 years since the last time I killed Ignacio. And I'm sure I don't have an Ignacio kill in this account. It's just too rare. That's a little bit nasty. I was fully expecting to get Rail Jellied there, but it didn't happen, fortunately for me. Okay. Almost there. You know, I should be using Silver Jabs. Yep. Hmm. Okay, that was a little bit sketchy. Just a little bit. Got 12 corrosion through resistance to corrosion. Not very uncommon. Okay, fighting the royal jelly is always very fun. Let me grab that before it disappears. Hmm. Manual of Air Magic. Should I acquire that just to add it to my collection of manuals? I'm gonna get the money. Not that the money does anything at this point anyway. I have already seen all the levels that have shops, so except for Vault 5, but I'm not going there with this build. Specifically with the crown, right? Because the crown, it has fragile, so the moment I take it off, it's gone forever, and I definitely do not want that to happen. Um, what happens if you get like Horns 3? Just out of curiosity. Does it fall off and break forever? Because if so, that would be supremely annoying. Um, oh no, I don't want to be weak to cold and fire. Being weak to cold is whatever. Yeah, we can definitely have that. All right, 3 runes have been acquired. To do this, you must remove one of the following. We're gonna get rid of these, and we're gonna go do Sot. And now we need to see. We need to see good old Parkit, because good old Parkit is gonna have um some good armor for me in the form of highly enchanted gold scales. If it doesn't happen, it's fine. We don't need it. Oh, that's a berserking bunyip. You know, that's pretty scary. That bunyip did 74 in one turn. Of all the things that it can turn into, I think bunyip is the scariest one. It dealt 160 damage. Like, they dealt 160 after I killed them. Um, Pretty nasty. Oh, brand weapon. Um, I'm making the giant spike glove, but I may not use it because why would I? Heavy. Ooh boy, what's the damage output on that? 133. Talking about heavy. You know what? I'm gonna keep that. Um, I don't like it, but I'm gonna keep that. Okay, just for funsies, let's swing it a little bit. See how it goes. You headbutt the golden dragon. Okay. I almost one-shot the golden dragon. I'm pretty close to doing so. Um, if I don't have it on, oh no, if I don't have it on, bad things are gonna happen. I think it is very funny that there is an enemy in the game now that incentivizes you to read tele. This mob almost killed me. Yes, I've heard that people have had pretty nasty experiences dealing with wormholes. Um, Ouch. These guys are berserking. Okay. I have 6 blinking, unfortunately for you, so I'm gonna blink over here. Oh, I was fighting Tiamat. Oh, I didn't notice. Oh, that's not good. I wonder if the Dragon Skin Cloak is better than what I have. My only source of repulsion, poison resistance, and resistance to negative. No, I have 2 resistance to negative, but it also gives me regen. I think what I have is better than that. Okay, I'm contaminated for some reason. Why exactly am I contaminated? No idea. Oh, the power of Sot is invoked against you. You are blinded. Mm, really frail? Man, I did enjoy having extra HP for a while there. Tiamat has a launcher. Why exactly do you have a launcher? 67 plus 33 freeze. That is quite a lot. I'm profoundly glad that I have. Okay, the blindness is making it so I cannot hit them. Profoundly glad that I have repel missiles. At some point I'll get rid of the blindness. Yeah, there we go. Your vision returns to normal. Okay, and now I just delete Tiamat. Did you see that? That's crazy. Your vision returns to normal and I start hitting Tiamat. Man, that was bonkers damage. Tiamat is one of the tankiest things that you're likely to see in a 3-room game. Um, and even then, it's not that likely for you to see Tiamat, period. Um, Still no park hit. Where are all these dragons coming from? Man, late game large species is so good. But the thing about late game large species is that my run has been so lucky that I've been able to enjoy all these boons for pretty much the entirety of the run. Um, Uncomfortable rashes. I'd rather not have those. Alright, pretty eventful sub one. So you can cancel the tele from that mob with tele scroll? Yes, you can. Also cancellation gets the job done. Also a way to not be teleportable gets the job done, like potion of 3. Um, I think translocations miscasts can also make you not be able to teleport, but I'm not sure. I think that they don't let you move. They make you stationary, which is a little bit different. I do not understand why the game places like super weak early game enemies in SOT when it also places super strong, ridiculous enemies in the mid game. Like, Spider, right? The Spider enemies are um, very powerful for the point in the game that they generate in. Like, I would even go as far as to say unfairly so. Why are those enemies not here where they would be probably kind of okay, very threatening? Instead of that, it's a bunch of trash. But I suspect that it's because that bolt was made years, maybe even decades before the introduction of the new strong enemies that are in Spider. And there's been several rounds of new strong enemies in Spider. Oh, I've been losing quite a bit of rocks. It's fine. It's not like I'm gonna run out. There's only a couple of levels left of game, and I still have 72 rocks, so yeah. Rocks are here to be used the way that I've been using them. Mm, the entirety of SOT is literally less scary to me than Bolts 5. Whenever I have the opportunity to not do Bolts 5, I'll not do Bolts 5. Because that level is vile. Alright, we're getting close to the end. Oh, I have Vainglory. It simply wouldn't do to leave so soon after announcing yourself. That's very scary. Um, Not gonna lie, it feels good to be at low hit point warning, but still be at 70 something HP. Still scary, but it's not like, oh, low hit point warning, which means you cannot continue fighting. Why do they come in bands of two? That's super nasty. The iron shot hits you, you take 54 damage. I'm thinking that I should just go down. So I can try to finish this in under 3 hours. Never saw Park hit, unfortunately. Yeah, imagine if you couldn't cancel the teleport from the worms, the wormholes. Sounds super nasty to be teleported into a bunch of enemies and such. Ah, mastered armor. Not a common thing to happen um for an Oni. Yeah, I would be doing better if I had better armor, like gold scales. But I'm still doing pretty well. Like It's wild that I have had this gear since Okawaru gave it to me, both the weapon and the armor, and it's been getting me to SOT. Game. Yep, it should be fine. I'm marked. I should probably not be here while marked. Being marked is fine, but I don't want to be marked and in the vault. Hero finesse. It's a lot of orbs of fire. Time to pull out the silver jabs. Time to pull out the silver jabs. No, I think I'm gonna throw large rocks. Okay, now it's time to pull out the silver jabs. Because I always pull out the silver jabs and it's too early into the fight and then I run out and I'm not out of orbs of fire, right? Which the point of the silver jabs is that they do get rid of the orbs of fire. Just like that. Just like that. Ah, you love to see it. That sucks. Foreshadowing. That's so messed up. Oh. Oh, I lost 11 armor class just like that. Because. Oh. Oh, that is so bad. Well, I didn't. Oh, the armor class that I lost actually. Like, I didn't lose the armor class that badly, but I did lose some armor class. Wait a second. Wait a second. I lost the crown, but I still have the rings on. Don't tell the devs. I'm not telling the devs. I'm not telling the devs. If anything, you should not be able to lose a fragile item from getting that. Why are those mutations still in the game? Why are these mutations still in the game? This is such trash. No one wants this. And the worst part is that this is a good mutation. Why exactly did anyone think that is a good mutation? No one wants that. It cannot be a good mutation because it is desired by literally no one. People have, since times ancient, restarted their games if they get monstrous demon spawn. Man, and now my character feels so weak compared to how it was before. It feels so weak. This is so bad. Oh, why? No one tell the devs. If anything, tell the devs why exactly can that happen. Makes for a more dramatic ending. I suppose. Just get me out of here. The crystal spear hits you, and then the next turn the crystal spear hits you. Delightful. Delightful. You know, it's extra delightful because I have a Scarf of Repulsion. And I still got hit by 2 turns of Crystal Spear. Feels bad. But not as bad as losing the crown in SOT 5. I have 2 pips of willpower now. Ah, yes, because the only willpower that I had equipped was from the um, from the crown. I feel like if I inspect any of the rings that I had on the crown, the game's gonna crash. But if the game crashes, I might have the opportunity to avoid the crown being destroyed. Let's see what happens. My crown, come on. I had so much armor class until that happened. Oh, why do I have 38 armor class? I had 30 before. What exactly is going on? Oh, oh, I had the formed body. That's what happened. Okay. So I did end up only losing 3 armor class from the crown being destroyed and the rings were never unequipped. Okay. You know what? Thank you for not completely destroying my character game. It only got mildly destroyed, moderately destroyed. Um, oh, I am kind of glad that I don't have the crown anymore because that way I could just not do that part that I didn't explore. You just made it back in time for the orb run. Yep. Hopefully it's not painful at all. I don't want to have any more struggle here. Just want to finish it. Oh, I can still make it. Not ideal. Fortunately, I have some blinking. I'm not fighting that. Getting a little bit of lag. Oh. No! No! What is this garbage? I feel so scammed. I feel so scammed. No way, it was a lag at the end. 1 second. 1 second. Dude, that is not cool. 1 second. What do you mean 1 second? I got severe mental, or not mental damage, psychic damage from the crown being destroyed. At least I didn't unequip the rings. But that is what killed the possibility of me um, winning the game in under 3 hours with this character. Come on. Come on. Come on. Well, whatever. I will come back at a later date, yet to be determined. I had a good time somehow, but you know what? It's easy to have a good time if you have a good run. The thing is that good runs are sparse, are few and far between. That is 3 wins in a row. I'm gonna try to get a fourth one tomorrow, or whenever I stream next. It would ideally be tomorrow, um, and then I will be fine. It will be good. Yeah, I want to play more Metroidvanias. If I get 4 wins in a row, it's gonna be the first tournament in a while, in a couple of tournaments, where I get the 4 wins in a row banner. So let's see, what does it say? The banner? Oh, yeah, slow and steady, tier 3. Achieve 4 win streak with 4 different species and 4 different backgrounds. Didn't I play 2 Onis? No, no, no. did play Onis at the start, but they didn't win them. I played Armator and Poltergeist, and this is an Oni, so whatever I play tomorrow needs to be the different thing. It cannot be a Cinder Acolyte, or a Gladiator, or a Necromancer, easy to achieve, or a Noni, or yeah, okay, yeah, it should be fine. Um, Man, I missed it for 1 second. Win the game in 3 hours. Oh well, that's just how it is. Have I heard of Nine Souls? Good ratings in Steam. I've been playing that. I got it gifted when I mentioned it during a stream. Um, I have opinions about that game that I will turn into a video in time. That will be a YouTube video. Maybe no. I mean, I'm debating if it should be a YouTube video or if it should be a Patreon video. It's probably gonna be a YouTube video. But yeah, I have decided that with my desire to play Metroidvanias, I'm going to be making like video essays about Metroidvanias. Um, with low effort because I do not know how to edit and I feel like it would take me forever and it would add a lot of barrier in for doing and then I would just be like, it's better than I don't do anything in the end. So this is gonna be me talking about my experience playing those Metroidvanias and like what I think they could have done better and what I think they could have done um, worse, I suppose. So the things that are good and the things that are bad. Um, yeah, that kind of thing. So yeah, anyway, end stream now. See you around. Thank you for everything. Bye bye. See you whenever I stream next.